Is he going to pick up? Probably not. He pretends to be busy. Hello, mate! You picked up! Yes, guys, what is up? Welcome to Supercars of London and welcome to a brand new series. Now, this is something that I've talked about for the last 4 or 5 years, so I might as well make it a series now. I want to talk about my favourite topic, which is all to do with the finances on the quirkiest cars in the world. When it comes down to owning them, financing them, leasing them, and trying to give you guys not only an insight, but also potentially some advice when buying a car, how to do it. And seeing as we are now in the depths of winter, I feel like this is the perfect place to start. Arguably the most popular SUV and definitely the first, the Ranger Rover SVR. £94,000, a 2019, done 20,000 miles. So it's 2 years old, 10,000 mile average, pretty good value. But then just out of frame, we have the other when it comes to the ultimate winter daily driver. Yep, the brand new Audi RS6, and this one in Nardo Grey with a full carbon fibre urban kit. It is near on perfect to how I would have it. Slightly more expensive, and today we're going to be going down to Saxton 4x4 with these two cars, seeing as they're in stock there, and I'm going to be talking to Dan, and we're going to be running through finance quotes, and then he is going to give an insight into which one is more affordable, which one is better value for money when it comes to running one of these through the winter. I should have really got Archie in because he's had 2 of them and 2 of them. But the first thing we need to do is drive them both, then head down to the showroom and get into the nitty-gritty and start analysing these costs. Naturally, we start in the Ranger Rover SVR, the pioneer, the start of the SUV, the super sports utility vehicles, shoving a massive lumpy engine up front that sings to your heart's content, but then actually fine-tuning the rest of the vehicle to be able to cope with the dynamics of having all of that power up front. And the SVR, in the 2 iterations that we've seen, has come so far, the first one being a lumpy, shouty SUV that was a little bit wobbly, and then Range Rover sharpened everything up, taken on board everything that the consumer has said, and they've created this, where inside it's near on a masterpiece. It is so nice, and that's the one thing that I was going into today thinking, but the Audi RS6 has got such a good interior, but I completely forgot that the SVR has got all of these screens and is a really nice place to be. The fact that you sit up gives you that additional power on the road to feel like you are king of the road. And really, the Range Rover SVR is one of, if not the king of the road. The one downside that I find in particular with this, unless you've got that carbon bonnet up front, they can blend in to look like a very highly spec'd standard Range Rover. You don't know that you've got the shouty V8, the supercharged V8, unless you're in it. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing. But I think if I was spending £95,000 there or thereabouts on a car like this, I'd want people to know about it. But oh, we've got a little underpass coming in here. So now this is quieter than the old SVR. But still pretty loud for the car the shape that this is. Oh. Okay. And for the size, you'd be amazed at how fast this shifts as well. That is why Range Rover have dominated the SUV market for so long, and now with the likes of the Bentleys, the Lamborghinis, Aston Martin, Ferrari coming into this sector as well, it's why some people are shifting back towards the wagons, because they just don't exist like the SUVs do, and they are just, if not cooler than the SUV format, in my opinion anyway. On to Audi RS6 then, and immediately I prefer the driving position. I know it's personal preference. Sitting lower to the ground, actually slamming any seat that I sit in a car, I slam it to the ground. The SVR has got that nice, powerful, almost royal feel to be sitting up so high, which I think on long journeys is nice. But I prefer sitting low to the ground. I feel like I'm connected to the ground and driving a sports car. And we all know that the Audi RS6 is one of the greatest road presence on our roads at the moment. And then the way that it rumbles along, and also it pulls like a train. It feels so much faster than the Range Rover SVR. Then you get onto the inside, and the way that this is put together, the way that Audi have designed this, it just feels nicer. It just feels like Audi have put this interior together much better. And that's not to say that the Range Rover hasn't got a nice interior. It's just Audi are on another level, and we've known that for years, which is why I think I probably would rather pay the extra money and jump into an RS6. I'd be intrigued to know what the final balloon payment would be on the finance between the two cars, because they both have pros and cons. This being a new car is prone to more depreciation, but the SVR has a new Range Rover, there's a new Range Rover Sport coming out. So I don't know what's going to come out more expensive on finance. The SVR being a little bit older, more miles. Let's meet up with Dan. He'll have all of the figures. He'll be able to give some solid advice. And then at the end, I might call Archie and just see what he thinks. Here he comes, sauntering over. For a man who's busy. For a man who's busy, you walk incredibly slow.
It's better be quick.
Yeah, you've got quite a lot
of collections.
Well, then run the numbers. don't even acknowledge them. You're not even hanging around for the rest of the video.
Not even. I'm so sorry. Did you enjoy?
I did. I
make sure the customer's happy with the product.
I'm not the customer. I was just going out for a bit of a joyride. So but seeing as they are the most popular winter toys.
Yep.
One's 20 grand more than the other.
The fastest family wagons that you're going to get your hands on, I think.
I preferred RS6.
I like the RS6.
Yeah.
There's something very special about the RS6.
Yeah.
However, as my customers walk in the door, so 10% down, Audi RS6.
Yep.
Obviously, we've got an in-house brokerage, as you already know.
Yep.
We can get decent balloons, flat rate 3.04, 5.9% for you guys. How much do you think?
120, no, it's 115 grand. So if you're putting 10% down, 1,500 quid a month?
1,400.
Okay.
It's pretty standard run of the mill.
Cheaper.
SVR?
SVR is 94 grand. So
considerably cheaper.
Yeah.
Less deposit. Same interest rate, same flat rate, same structure.
A grand a month.
1,100.
Oh, 1,100 a month.
It's almost like you knew the numbers before I came in.
I am just a finance guru. You can give me those and leave. No, I need them.
Good joke. Fine.
Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty. So yes, the balloon payment on the Range Rover, so basically what the guaranteed future value is £42,000, whereas the RS6 is £48,000. So that's only a £6 difference in the balloon at the end of the 4-year agreement, even though they start 12, 13, £14,000 apart. So they're actually saying that the RS6 is going to depreciate quicker than the SVR, which is interesting because the Range Rover Sport has a new iteration to come much sooner than what we'll see on a new Audi A6, therefore RS6. So that's interesting. Is he going to pick up? Probably not. He pretends to be busy.
Hello, mate.
Ah, you picked up.
Of course.
You saw my name. I mean, we literally speak on the phone every single day, so I thought you would pick up. I've got a question to ask.
I'm doing nothing else. Yeah, Karen.
I've just driven new shape Range Rover SVR back to back with your current car, Audi RS6.
Yeah.
I've run the finance quotes. They're similar deposit, 9 grand to 11 grand, but the RS6 is £300 a month more. You've had two of each. What car do you prefer?
RS6, but that's still pretty horrendous. But as an actual daily, I would say RS6.
Oh, really? So
As a daily, I'd say RS6, yeah.
you would spend...
SVR is so less enjoyable because I'd put sort of 20, 30 pounds in it, go down the road, and then I didn't drive anywhere because it was so expensive.
Yeah, but you did own the SVR in London.
Yeah, I know, that is very true.
So
they're both very good cars, but if I could definitely pick one, I would always go back to the RS6 just because I prefer, I actually think the current SVR, the SVR now, is starting to look old just because of the new Range Rover.
Oh, really?
Whereas the RS6 is the current one. I think the SVR is a really good car, but I think that I know the RS6. You're filming one with the Urban kit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, if you've got a set of bosses on that bad boy, then I might buy myself. Then I have a third one. No, I think that you can't compare that. How much is that up for? 120 grand.
113, 114. Oh, and that's perfect. I don't need him anymore because the signal's gone.
Oh, if you don't need me anymore,
Oh, you're...
I'll probably get confused in the comments as we speak anyway. So
all right.
Better be off, mate.
Bye. Bye. And there we go, an insight into an owner who has had both and prefers the RS6 in the same way that I do, even though it's more expensive as a car and on finance, and has a lower, or has a more of a depreciation, or what people are estimating anyway. The man math has been done. We've had some advice. I wouldn't call it expert advice, but we've had some experienced advice from Archie, and we've also had Dan supplying me the figures, and obviously Saxon 4x4 supplying me the cars. Let me know what you want to hear from next. I've got a Lamborghini Urus to the left of me. I need to do the numbers on that car because I do believe every single person that has ordered one in the last 2 years has either broken even or made money on it. So it's probably one of the only cars, and definitely the only SUV that you can buy at the moment and not lose any money on. Absolutely mental. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know in the comments whether you would go Range Rover SVR, whether you'd go Audi RS6. Now you know the numbers and you've heard from an owner. I'll speak to you soon, guys. Take care. Goodbye.